Hello and welcome to Candlekeep Ramsey, and in episode 2 of our series on cards for Commander, we're going to take a peek in through the magic mirror and ask it, mirror mirror on the wall, what were our favourite cards for Commander from Throne of Eldraine? Throne of Eldraine released last year and brought with it a whole slew of new and interesting cards for use in Commander. The adventure mechanic itself in particular was quite an interesting one, as this allowed creatures to be both a creature or a sorcery depending on what you need in that situation. Having a card with two options available to you has always been a fantastic thing to have in Commander. It gives you a lot more flexibility and essentially an extra card or two in your deck. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. You're interested in what 5 cards you should be looking for as you start cracking packs of them in the shop. And I think we should start with an honourable mention, and that will go to Kenrith, the Returned King. Kenrith is here as the honourable mention because he wasn't strictly included in the boosters and the set. He was available as a buy a box promo and could be found in one of the Challenger decks that was released alongside Throne of Eldraine. Kenrith, as a commander, is a powerful toolbox that allows you access to all 5 colours of magic, and thus all kinds of different win conditions in your deck. He's also a useful political tool, allowing you to help and enable your opponents and keep them on your side until you're ready to pounce for that win. And so, without further ado, let's take a look at the top 5 cards as voted for by the Candlekeep Discord. At number 5, and it's no surprise, but it's Oko, Thief of Crowns. Oko, Thief of Crowns, is a planeswalker for 1 green and a blue, and caused a lot of controversy when it first entered the standard scene. We're not going to get into that today though. We're here to see what makes him good for Commander, and I think personally that's the +1 ability. Target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with a base power and toughness of 3/3. This card is fantastic for just shutting down commanders in general and turning them into a 3/3 elk with no other abilities, which means your opponent has to find ways to remove their commander off their own board. Number 4, Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage reads, tap and sacrifice Fabled Passage, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. The important part to remember though is that if you control 4 or more lands at that point, you can then untap that land. Fabled Passage is a fantastic way to fix your mana in a multicoloured deck when you need it. At number 3, Stonecoil Serpent. Stonecoil Serpent is an artifact creature that costs X. It has reach, trample, protection from multicoloured, and enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. This is a card that's going to be flexible in both the early, mid, and late games, allowing you to create a small blocker capable of blocking flyers early, or a massive 10/10 creature to trample over your opponent in the endgame. And the first and second place cards had a joint number of votes, so I've taken it upon myself to cast the deciding vote, which is why at number 2, Hushbringer. Hushbringer is a creature for 1 and a white. It has flying and lifelink, and creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause other abilities to trigger. This is a fantastic stacks piece in most decks, but I put it in its second place because I think that number 1 card has got much more utility when it comes to winning games. And the number 1 card from Throne of Eldraine for Commander, as voted for by the Candlekeep Discord, is the Great Henge. The Great Henge costs 7 and 2 green, but it's unlikely that you're going to play this for its full cost, because it costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. You can tap it to add 2 green to your mana pool and gain 2 life, but its most important ability is that whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. This means you could pay 1 green to play a Llanowar Elf, it comes to the field as a 2/2, and you're drawing a card. And that's it for the top 5 this week. Thanks for watching to the end. If you're interested in keeping up to date with all the latest videos from Candlekeep, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe click the like button for us as well. It all helps out. I'm Ian, this is Candlekeep, and this is where adventure begins.